Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. Now, recently, the Stokes seed trials was opened up to a limited number of people. In other words, it was by invitation only. And it's usually only invited to the media and some of the growers and people who have the experience of the actual plant material. It's sponsored by Martin Farms and Stokes Seeds, and the two of them together put this on, and so far have been doing it every year to great success. Now, what we did was we went through and we actually got to go into the test gardens in the fields and try different fruits and vegetables, because tomatoes are fruit, right? Okay. So, vegetables, right? So let's start with some of the ones that we really liked, okay? Now, before we get started, though, there is one that you're not going to see unless maybe it happens, and that's the best I can say, until 2019. So, you may find it out there. It has no name yet. It's only known as mini tangerine. Now, this is a pepper. It is small. It is long. It's almost like a low bell pepper that is long and thin and small. Okay? Is the taste good? Oh, yeah. Now, you're talking to the guy who's not big on peppers, right? So, when I say that this one is worthwhile eating raw, just start eating. That says it all. I do not like hot peppers, okay? And will gladly tell you that right up front. No way, okay? But I want you to know that that one you need to go and start looking for first thing in the spring. If Stokes is able to get the people to the breeder to actually have enough seed and allow them to introduce it, you want to grab this plant for sure, okay? Now, there is also a pepper that's going to replace Capello, and we think it should. And you know that I like Capello. Capello peppers are the pepper that got my daughters all hooked on peppers. And they're long, and they're gorgeous, and they're a great pepper. They ripen, they produce tons of red fruit early, quick, and on a regular basis. Now, it's going to be replaced by Carmen, and this is actually, in my opinion, a good thing. The Carmen was such a good pepper that it has more disease resistance. It's going to be just as fruitful, and it's going to be even a little larger, longer pepper than the Capello, and we really like the taste. So, that is one you want to take a look for, okay? It's called Carmen. Now, Mad Hatter. Let's talk about Mad Hatter. Great name. You're not going to forget this one. And when you see this pepper, you will never forget it. This pepper looks like the hat from Harry Potter. Okay, you know that hat they put on all the kids? Well, this thing looks like a crazy hat like that. First of all, it doesn't look like a pepper. So if you think it's long, it's narrow, it's pointed, or it's going to be wide and fat and pointed, or it's going to be a bell pepper, or it's going to be a round pepper, or it's going to be one like that, it ain't. This one is totally weird. Now, what you need to know about this one is it's a 65 to 70 day pepper. It is sort of like a bishop's cap, if you want to call it that. Okay, I have no idea, but okay. The pepper itself can be eaten green. Now, my recommendation is that you always go and eat it red because you get the most out of it. But this pepper should be tasted green. And there's a reason for it. Not only does it taste good, green, but it has a nice flavor and a floral smell to it when it's green. When it's red, it tastes and smells like a regular pepper. So you can actually get that more citrus floral smell on the green. I think it would showed up better in our tasting on the green. Now, it's crunchy, and that's good. It really is crunchy. It's crisp. It's got tons of peppers. The peppers are about 2.5 inches across by about 2.5 high. It's a very unusual pepper. It's like a flattened disc with points. I just can't describe it correctly. Now, there's one little thing. You should stake this one. It is an AAS winner. Okay, so that means you're going to find it out there. Now, it's good in containers. It's good in the garden. No problem at all. Every once in a while on this plant, one of those peppers will be hot. The rest of them aren't. But every once in a while, on the same plant, there will be one pepper or a pepper that is hot. Nobody knows why, and actually, nobody really cares. So you may want to sort of taste, and this gives you an excuse to sort of have a little nibble on this one first, because even though it's sweet, there is a hot one there somewhere hiding, just ready to bite you. So there's that mystery to it, which I think is really great as well. And then there was the candy cane pepper. Now, I really like this one. First of all, it's good in stir fries. It's very ornamental, and that means it's compact. It has variegated green and white leaves. It produces huge numbers of peppers. They're the long, thick peppers, blunted, sort of like a Cubanelle type peppers, except that it's sweet. And this one you can just snack on. Think of it as an elongated bell. It's about 3.5 inches by 1.25 inches by maybe even 9 inches long, maybe 10 sometimes, but very often you're going to be picking it. And it's striped. You know how the leaves have got the green and white? Well, the pepper itself has stripes in it too. So that even though it is ripe, you're going to see darker stripes in it. Even red, doesn't matter. This one is really interesting. So it's a great plant for ornamental use in containers, etc., but also in the ground. The walls on the pepper are thin and crispy. You can eat them at all stages of ripeness, whether they're green or red. But I'll tell you now, this one is a great pepper. This one and the mini tangerine that's not named were the highlights of our tasting. Orange juice sweet. Now this is a newer one. It's going to be introduced. This one is a bushy mini bell. It's got a lot of seed in the core in the center, so you got to clean that out. But it is a cream cheese type pepper, and it does come in other colors. They come in reds and yellows and oranges. But this orange juice sweet is the one that's going to be probably the most popular. It's ready about now, which is early September, on the plant. So you're going to plant this and you're going to have to wait a little bit. But then you're going to get a great plant for bedding as well as containers. And you can actually use it for cream cheese peppers. Now, there was a hot one. I didn't try it. Sorry, I just can't. It's a 70 to 75 day to full ripeness. Aji Rico. It's an AAS winner. It's thin-walled. It has great fresh or cooked aspects in green or red. So you can pick this in any time. It's best in the ground. It is indeterminate plant, so it's going to benefit from being staked. Then its fruit is long and conical. It does have a slight citrus flavor with heat, and that might be good if you want to try this one as a stir fry, okay, or for cooking. But hot peppers, no, don't grow them. Now, another one we got to taste was chocolate sprinkles. Now, I have grown chocolate sprinkles tomatoes for 2 years now. It's very indeterminate. You're going to need to stake or cage this one. It has got lots of disease resistance. It's a 70-day plant. It's crack resistant. It's a grape shape with high bricks. In other words, it's quite sweet. And it is. And it's sort of, chocolate sprinkles means that when it's ripe, it's red, but there's going to be some striping in it. And it's going to be a plant that's got fruit on it that's maybe an inch across. And you're just going to pop these like candy. Trust me, we like these ones a lot. Another one that we got to taste was Mountain Honey. This one is a cocktail-sized tomato. It's semi-determinate, so you will be staking it. It's got good yields, the good disease package, good flavor, and good bricks. That means it's fairly sweet. It's got uniform fruit that's about 15 to 20 grams. Okay, that's medium cocktail size. To be honest with you, we're sticking with Sugar Rush. We just feel that the Sugar Rush, for us, the flavor and the taste is a little better. We got to taste Little Bing, and even though Little Bing ripens over several weeks, allowing the harvest to be taken one at a time, etc., it gives you large yields. It's flavorful. It's a red. It's great for fresh eating and to recipes, etc. It's best in containers with or without support. And it's a dwarf determinate variety. In other words, it gets to a certain size, all the fruit ripens, and you're done. But we're not going to grow this one. We just have so many other reds. But again, if you're looking for one for a container, you might want to try this one. Tidy Rose was another tomato we got to look at. It's a heirloom type. In other words, you know that ridged look? You're going to see that in this ribbed fruit. It's got the flavor of the heirlooms. It's good for all the culinary uses. It's best in containers or in the ground. You need to grow it with support. It's compact, determinate, but it produces like indeterminate. In other words, it really heavily produces. So, take a look at that one. It's one we tasted. It was fine, but we're very turned off anything that looks like an heirloom tomato. We do not like our tomatoes. We'll call them misshapen. How's that? Patio Yellow Choice is a compact tomato. This one is going into your containers or for small space gardens. It's determinate. It produces very large yields of half-ounce, bright yellow cherry tomatoes, short vines that grow only 18 inches tall, and we mean 18 inches tall. But it's just okay. Okay, now Midnight Snack was another cherry tomato. It's going to be interesting to grow this one because it's black and then goes and ripens red, and you eat it when it's red, not when it's black, okay? It's high in anthocyanins, but it's got a nice balanced flavor. It needs to be staked. It's best in the ground, but we just can't afford the space for this one when we've got so many other cherry tomatoes that we think are Better tasting. How's that? Like chocolate sprinkles. So there's a few of the things that we saw. There's more. So maybe I should do another one and sort of pick up a few other varieties of plants like the eggplants, etc. And we'll do another little segment on Stokes Trial Gardens tasting. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.